This year, the number of college entrance exam candidates has exceeded 10 million, as the number of college entrance exam participants continues to increase.
It's getting really tough for examinees these days. When I took the exam back then, there were only a few people, you know?
You took the college entrance exam?
If I hadn't messed up my exam, would I be delivering food now? My parents? I got an urgent order. You guys eat first. This Junsheng group is truly impressive. I almost got lost. Hello, here's your order. Kishin? What a coincidence. I'm Ye Dongqing. We were classmates back in school. You're doing so well now. A manager at the world's #1 Junsheng group.
You can leave now. I don't have time for old stories.
All right. No problem. I'll get going then. Enjoy your meal.
It seems like everyone and their mother wants to get close to Manager Ye.
Manager Ye? Manager Ye. Miss? You must be new here, right? His last name is K, not Ye. What are you talking about, delivery guy?
Manager Ye was the top scholar in the college entrance exam that year, and our group specially recruited him back. He's a top talent. I've been serving him for many years.
Oh, I see. You rascal. You rascal. Did you change your last name after marrying into the family?
Marrying in? What kind of joke are you making? Manager Ye is about to marry Shen Mengjie, the most beautiful woman in Nanxiang province.
Shen Mengjie? Tell me, what exactly is going on? Why do you have the last name Yi? An advanced individual? Yi Dongqing? Your grades were always at the bottom back then. How could you possibly have become the top scholar?
Since you were able to become the top scholar back then, there's no need for me to say more, is there?
I dedicated many years to my studies. How could I not have been the top scholar? So, you stole my identity.
So what? You're just a pathetic delivery guy now. You can't make waves. Just accept your fate, huh?
Accept my fate? I was the only hope for my family back then. When I failed the college entrance exam, my dad got so angry that he had a heart attack and passed away. My mom took her own life out of grief. Dad, get up, Dad. Dad! Mom! 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 What will I do without you, Mom? Mom! Mom! Wake up! Mom! You are the one who caused my family's ruin. I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
Someone. This person is trying to kill me.
If I could do it all over again, I'd definitely take back what's mine.
Dongqing? It's time for the college entrance exam. Dongqing?
Kashin. I'll get you.
The college entrance exam is starting soon.
The college entrance exam. I'm back from the dead.
Rebirth. Dongqing, are you feeling unwell?
July 7th, 1997. That was the first day of my college entrance exam.
What's wrong with this guy? If he messes up the exam, how can I use his identity to get into university?
I'm going to finish you today.
Ye Dongqing, are you crazy? You dare to fight during the college entrance exam? Brother Sin, just say the word, and I'll report him to the teacher immediately. They'll disqualify this guy from the exam.
What's the use of good grades? Being so brutish. A family like yours, poor and worthless trash. Even if you get into Qingbei University, your parents probably wouldn't have money for your tuition, right? Oh, how about this? You'd better just go back home. And farm.
Don't say that, please. We're all classmates here. I believe he must just be too nervous. Dongqing, prepare well for the exam. I'm sure you'll pass.
I'll pass nothing. Do you think I don't know? What schemes you're brewing?
Ye Dongqing has gone mad. Go tell the teacher quickly. Hurry and tell the teacher. Dongqing has gone crazy.
All right.
It's nothing.
You.
It's nothing, really. Dongqing, you must be too nervous. We've all worked so hard for years. Wasn't it all for the college entrance exam? You absolutely cannot let this small matter ruin your future.
What a good act. In my previous life, you ruined my future. You caused my family's downfall. You made me suffer for over a decade. And in the end, you were the one who stabbed me to my demise. Yes, it was all you.
Look. Just look. Look at the grand vision of Shinge. Then look at you. You'll never compare in a lifetime. What good is it just to be good at studying? You also need a good family background, a broad perspective, and connections. Only then can you truly become a person of influence.
Someone like you, a commoner who only knows how to study diligently. I'm afraid this entire life, you'll only ever be at the very bottom. A lonely bachelor, right?
Exactly.
The future is unwritten, and we are all dark horses. Who will truly be successful in the future is yet to be seen.
The examination starts now. Examine the questions carefully, everyone.
Excellent. This is exactly the state I want. The better you score, the better the schools I can apply to. You bookworm, just wait to pave the way for my success.
Hey, chimp, you want to take my place and become the top scorer? If I write an essay that shocks the entire country, let's see how you'll react. In the 26th year of Jian'an, the year 221 AD, Guan Yu retreated to Maicheng, was defeated and captured, and then harmed by Sun Quan. His mount, Qi Tu Ma, was gifted by Sun Quan to Ma Zhong. One day, Ma Zhong reported that Qi Tu Ma had refused to eat for several days and would soon perish. Sun Quan was greatly astonished and urgently visited Bo Shi, a renowned scholar from Jiangdong. This man was a descendant of Bo Lei.
Honey, tell me, will our son pass the exam?
Our son's grades are always so good. He's bound to pass.
That's not necessarily true.
Key. What do you mean by that?
You village folks, you just know how to work yourselves to the bone. Your vision is too limited.
We village folk are practical. We don't understand grand visions. Dongqing has much better grades than Kexin. He will definitely pass the exam.
20 years ago, weren't your grades better than mine too? Now I'm wealthy, and you can only sell popsicles by the roadside. That's the difference a vision makes.
I was poor, My family couldn't afford my schooling. That's why I'd do anything, even give my blood, to give Dongqing the best conditions for his studies. It's to prevent people like you from pushing us around.
Go to hell. What's a popsicle seller got to be so arrogant about? Say it. Your son is worthless trash. He can't compare to my son. Say it, and all this money will be yours.
My son is not trash.
Hit him. Keep hitting him until he admits his son is trash.
Stop hitting him.
My son is not trash.
Everyone, stop! I dare any of you to lay a hand on my parents again.
Dongqing,
Dongqing.
your mum and I are fine. How did you do on your exam?
Dad. Mom.
Dongqing, did you not do well?
It's all right, even if you didn't do well. You're still our good son.
In my past life, my parents' passing always felt a bit suspicious to me. No matter what, in this life, I must protect my parents and uncover the truth.
Dongqing, did you fail the exam?
Dad, Mom, I did very well. Don't you worry.
Dad, how could you hit Uncle and Auntie?
It's all because of these lowly commoners. They don't know what's good for them. You must be tired from the exam. Let's go. Dad will take you to a big feast.
Wait, Dad. Uncle and Auntie, I apologize to both of you. On behalf of my dad, I am sorry. Dongqing is my best classmate. When the results come out, I'll treat you to a meal. Let's go, Dad. Dad, I don't know why, but Dongqing seems to be wary of me. Impersonating his identity probably won't work now.
All right? Then I'll spend a bit more money and just take your name directly.
What a faker. No wonder I was kept in the dark by you in my past life.
Dongqing, you, what did you say?
Dad, nothing. Dad, please prepare some paper and a pen for me. I want to write a book.
Write a book?
In my previous life, I was a nobody. That's why Keishin took advantage of me. If I publish another, groundbreaking work, when the whole country pays attention, let's see how he'll react then. In 98, the hottest book in 98 was To Live. It's 97 now. Teacher Yu, I apologize for borrowing your work.
Dear, tell me, did our son really mess up his exam?
Bah. You're such a jinx. Our son is the top student in the entire school. How could he mess up his exam?
But
No buts. No matter what the outcome is, we'll both gather more money for our son, so he'll have a way to make a living in the future. You keep selling popsicles, I'll go to the construction site.
Teacher Yan, if you're too tired, you can leave first. It seems this batch doesn't have any outstanding talents. We can just review them.
This exam paper is a student's life. Even if there are no outstanding talents, we still have to review it carefully and grade it conscientiously.
Yan, Teacher Yan, look at this!
Mr. Lee, we, as reviewers, must avoid being impulsive. No matter what work we encounter, We must always remain calm. This is classical Chinese. And it uses illusions. The concept is profound. The story is novel, and the language is mature. What a masterpiece. The demise of red hair. Even I could not write such a perfectly structured essay. Are you sure? This was written by a high school student?
It seems our southern province is about to produce a literary prodigy.
Our great shy literary scene has been quiet for so many years. I must report this immediately and make a copy. Once the results are out, I want the whole world to know about this extraordinary work.
Listen up, everyone. This year's top scholar will definitely be Kesin.
Kishin, let's see how you're going to steal my top scholar title now.
Oh, whose submission are you helping with?
My own.
Your own? You write books too? Can you even read all the words in this book of yours? How old are you? Are you an adult yet?
I suggest you take a look first before you speak.
I'm busy right now. Later, when Shaoli gets back, I'll have him look at it for you. This book of yours, how much do you plan to sell it for?
1 million. Plus a 50% distribution share.
How much? 1 million plus a 50% distribution share?
For the author credit, it can be anonymous for now. I just ask that it be published as soon as possible, preferably before the college entrance exam results are announced.
Do you think you're a divine literary talent? Look at all the books in my publishing house. Why should I publish yours first? I'll just see what kind of nonsense you've written, daring to make so many demands. Comrade, did I just raise my voice a bit too much? I will immediately inform the provincial editor-in-chief. Also, is $1 million a bit too little? Do you want to add more?
I still prefer the arrogant way you were just now. However, $1 million is enough. I just need it to be published before the college entrance exam results are out.
Don't worry. I'll make sure this book becomes a national sensation.
Mengji, you like this book too?
Every time I read this book, it's like looking at a microcosm of life and the changes of several great eras. I haven't read such a wonderful book in a long time.
Yes. This book is now sweeping the nation. Even the richest man in the South Province, after reading it, wants to personally promote it. I heard the royalties alone amount to tens of millions. I wonder who is so amazing.
Little K? Have you seen Dongqing?
Uncle and Auntie. Isn't he with you?
These past few days? He's been so busy. I don't know with what. Always out of sight. I thought he would come first today.
Uncle and Auntie, you don't need to worry. With Dongqing's abilities, he will definitely get into a good university. Uncle, Dongqing told me your heart isn't very well. I have a bottle of medicine specifically for the heart. You should take one to prevent any issues.
Don't eat it! Oh, that's good.
Little K is so thoughtful. Dad. Mom. He's just a treacherous scoundrel. Don't believe anything he says.
Dongqing? How can you say that about me?
You unfilial bastard, who's afraid of failing the exam. You really dared to show up.
Shinga meant well. If you mess up your exam, what if your dad has a heart attack and collapses on the spot? You're so heartless.
I think the ones who will collapse on the spot should be you guys. If you've got the guts, each of you take one pill.
Dongqing, how can you speak to Keshin like that? He's always been kind to us.
Mengji, we grew up together. Don't you trust me?
Oh, never mind. Dongqing must not have performed well. He's too stressed out.
If I really didn't perform well, I think the one who's stressed out should be you.
Students. The results for this year's university entrance exams will be announced in the school auditorium. All students and parents, please proceed there as soon as possible.
Our Dongqing will definitely get in.
Our son is always the top student in school. Maybe he'll even be the valedictorian.
Valedictorian, huh? Dongqing, that bookworm. He usually does well, but he definitely can't handle the pressure of the exam hall. This time, he must have completely flunked it.
Do you even know what being a valedictorian means? That's an outstanding talent that the whole country wants to recruit. Even provincial leaders. Come to present the awards. Him? Does he even deserve it?
Don't you dare talk about Dongqing like that. He will definitely succeed.
Quiet. Please look at the list. This is the list of all admitted students from Jiangcheng this year.
Dongqing really doesn't seem to be on the list.
What? What? This? There really is no Dongqing's name. What on earth is going on here?
Mom and Dad, don't worry. Maybe I scored first in the entire country. That's why I'm not on the list.
First in the country? Dream on. The top scorer in the country is a brilliant talent whom even the governor personally meets. Do you really think you're hot stuff just because you had a few lucky breaks, getting the top score in your grade?
Didn't you hear what the principal said? The complete list is all here. If you're not on it, it can only mean that you didn't pass the exam.
It's okay if Dongqing didn't get in. Dad won't blame you. Dad has saved a lot of money for you. You can do whatever you want later.
Dad, I really did get in. The reason my name isn't on the list is because Keishin took my spot.
I think you're just twisted. Jealous of our Shinga, aren't you?
That's disgusting. You got flustered and performed poorly, and now you're slandering others.
Yi Dongqing, you've truly disappointed me. I know Keshin's character best. How could he do such a thing?
Ye Dongqing, I can tolerate other things, but slandering my reputation here, I demand an apology from you.
Exactly. You, kid. Immediately, kneel and apologize. To Shinga. Otherwise, with just your high school diploma, we have plenty of ways to crush you.
Apologize immediately. You family of 3, you poor, lowly trash, are always slandering others.
Dad!
Dongqing, you should still apologize to Keishin.
Right. Apologize. Apologize.
Apologize.
How dare you? Who is it that dares to insult the national top scorer? Do you want to go against hundreds of millions of teachers and students nationwide?
Congratulations to the top scorer from the Provincial 3rd High School, who will be awarded a scholarship of $1 million and guaranteed admission to any prestigious university nationwide.
Who is the top scorer this year? How can they get offers from all the top universities in the country?
$1 million. That's enough to buy more than 10 houses in the county. This is the highest scholarship ever.
What's more, Teacher Yan is the best teacher in the entire province. Who exactly is this? Who can get Teacher Yan to come and present the award personally?
Could it be that Dongqing is the top scorer, which is why he's not on the list?
Miss Shen, weren't you just questioning my character?
Dongqing, are you really going to impersonate the top scorer and be scorned by millions of students and billions of citizens?
Are you implying that you are the top scorer?
I am not. Are you?
What's all this noise about? Today is the award ceremony for the national top scorer, broadcast live nationwide. There is only one top scorer, and his name is... His name is... K. Shin.
Hello, Mr. Yan. I am Kashin.
The young are truly formidable. The young are truly formidable.
Dongqing, you really didn't get in?
You're just a construction worker, ignorant and uneducated. What kind of child could you possibly raise? He didn't even take the college entrance exam, yet he pretends to be the top scorer? It's absolutely hilarious.
Better let your son go home and farm with you. He's not cut out for studying. What good is all that effort anyway? Look, as soon as something happens, doesn't it just make him waste all his efforts in panic?
Keishin's grades have always been at the bottom. He just sleeps through class. He's the top scorer, and you all believe it? Should I say you're stupid, or that you have no brains?
Yi Dongqing, you are questioning me, questioning Mr. Yan, and questioning the entire education system. We're classmates. I can understand you failing, but I advise you to think carefully before speaking.
Kei-Sin told me he was hiding his abilities to build up his strength, often studying outside of class. Dongqing only had one setback in his life, and you're still questioning him now. I truly look down on you.
I must have been out of my mind to have liked you. I'm going to report it publicly, in front of all the teachers and students across the country, that Kei-Sin stole my name, Ye Dongqing, and replaced me as the top scorer on the college entrance exam.
Excuse me, student. This year's top scorer, Kei Shin, is highly recognized by many prestigious universities. He's known as the #1 genius. Are you sure Kei Shin is an imposter?
I am certain.
I think you're after this $1 million. And the admission spot. Are you out of your mind? You dare to accuse the national top scholar?
Dongqing, you're slandering me in front of the whole nation. Have you considered the consequences? You're slandering me in front of the whole nation. Have you considered the consequences?
Dongqing would never falsely accuse anyone. There must be a misunderstanding here.
I think he's just consumed by jealousy, envious that a classmate became the top scholar. You should stay away from people like that.
Mom, I know him best. We grew up together. He would never be that kind of person.
Dongqing this time will definitely get into a good university. He is the most outstanding student I have ever taught. This time, I must praise him highly.
Oh, stop fiddling with that broken tie of yours. Look at the excellent student you taught, Ye Dongqing. Not only did he fail the exam, but he's also slandering a classmate down there. Isn't this shameful?
What?
Young man, slandering the national top scorer is a great disrespect to all test takers. Your qualifications will be permanently revoked. You might even end up in jail. It's not too late to apologize now.
Apologize? I think he's the one who should apologize.
You say he stole your identity. Do you have any proof?
Proof? That college entrance exam essay is the proof.
That college entrance exam essay is the best full score essay in the past 10 years. It's even considered the most outstanding essay of its time. It can certainly be used as evidence.
That essay was written entirely in classical style, with profound meaning. It even set a new standard for national essays. Did you really write it?
What kind of essay could it be? That even Elder Yan, a modern literary master, praises it so highly?
Such an outstanding college entrance exam essay. It must have been written by my pal Zin. Later, I'm really curious to see how this loser will explain himself when he can't prove it.
How could I have forgotten about this? Could this essay really be that special?
This Elder Yan really is making a mountain out of a molehill. You say this young man is still wet behind the ears. What great work could he possibly write? Only someone with true life experience and profound cultural depth can write such a groundbreaking masterpiece. I ask you, didn't you say I could meet the author in person today? Don't you forget, I invested millions and printed over 1 million copies. If you go back on your word today, you will face consequences you cannot afford.
Mr. Lee, the author of this book, is this young man.
What?
Elder Yan, with Dongqing's ability, he absolutely deserves to be the top scholar. There must be something fishy going on here.
Teacher Zhang, with your teaching level, you still dream of coaching a national top scholar? I think you two are nothing but frauds. You're simply insulting the efforts of countless students.
Teacher Zhang never gives up on any student. When we ask questions, Teacher Zhang always shares all his knowledge. How dare you insult him?
Enough. Recite the entire essay for me. If you can recite it, then I'll believe. Someone is impersonating the author.
If you can't recite it, you, your teacher, and your parents will become the laughingstock of the entire world.
Then you all better listen up. The 26th year of Jianan, 221 AD, Guan Yu retreated to Maicheng, was defeated and captured, surrendered, and was harmed by Sun Quan.
The opening is exactly the same. Word for word.
This bookworm actually recited it. How is this possible?
Such a wonderful essay. I couldn't write something like this in my entire life. What exactly is going on here?
I don't know.
No. Among all the great writers I know, it would take 10 years to write such an exquisite and masterful essay. This essay, one must have thoroughly read The Romance of the Three Kingdoms and have an extremely deep insight into human nature to be able to write it. Is he really the author of To Live?
Absolutely, without a doubt. He even gave me a manuscript. Look. He also said that someone is impersonating his top scholar identity today and asked us to help him verify it.
To be so confident even before the results are announced, this is truly astonishing. This is a great talent. A gifted genius like this, we absolutely cannot let his talent go unnoticed. Let's go.
I knew it. He was never destined to be insignificant. He is bound to achieve great things.
It's just an essay. What does that prove? The college entrance exam papers are top secret. How could the name be wrong? I think he just got lucky.
Later, Sun Quan issued an edict that Guan Yu and his son, along with Chi Tu Ma, be honorably buried. This is the full text of The Death of Chi Tu Ma.
The entire piece uses personification, likening Chi Tu to a human, elevating the theme of loyalty to its highest point. In comparison, my essay is utterly worthless.
The entire piece is exactly the same. In this world, there absolutely cannot be two identical essays. Could it be that there really was an inside job? Someone tampering with things?
Keishin, what exactly is going on?
Little K, we completely drained our life savings to send Dongqing to high school. He is our family's only hope. I beg you, please tell us the truth. We promise we won't blame you.
Uncle Ye, your son copied my essay during the college entrance exam, and I haven't even pursued that matter. Now you want me to give up my top scholar status? Aren't you going a bit too far?
Are you saying that Yi Dongqing copied your essay?
That's right, Mr. Yan. Everyone, during the exam, Ye Dongqing was sitting right behind me. He repeatedly peeked at my paper. I didn't think much of it at the time, but I never imagined he would use this opportunity to impersonate me as the top scholar.
I knew it, so that's why he failed the exam. It turns out, he put all his effort into these petty tricks. No wonder you failed. I think you've become utterly foolish from studying, both ignorant and malicious.
I knew it. How could an unsophisticated bumpkin, possibly right, is such an essay? It turns out he copied it from Brother Shin.
Brother Zin, this essay, you wrote it exceptionally well.
Mr. Yan, all exam papers are sealed and marked anonymously, so there's absolutely no way for impersonation to occur. This student, you are not only slandering others, but also peeking at other people's papers. I think you should be permanently banned from taking exams and sent to the integrity office.
Yes, for such a disgrace, I believe they should be permanently banned from exams and be jointly boycotted by all 1,200 million people nationwide. Jointly boycotted.
Permanently banned from exams. Jointly boycotted.
Permanently banned from exams. Jointly boycotted.
Permanently banned from exams. Jointly boycotted. Permanently banned from exams. Permanently banned from exams.
That's nonsense. He could write a masterpiece like Living. How could he possibly cheat on a mere essay?
Isn't this the wealthiest man in Nan Province? What brought him here?
Didn't you hear what he just said? That Ye Dongqing is the author of To Live? How could that be?
You wrote this masterpiece?
Li Wenshang, that old busybody, why isn't he at home reading a book? What's he doing running to the school?
Mr. K, it seems Li Wenchang wants to vouch for Ye Dongqing. If we don't go now, I'm afraid the young master won't be able to hold on.
I don't need you to remind me. Let's go.
Mr. Lee, I've read To Live recently as well. This book, without rich life experience and a solid literary foundation, it's simply impossible to write. You say he is the author of this book. Do you have any proof?
The caliber of this book surpasses Death of Red Hair and is even among the nation's top-tier literary works. It's no exaggeration to say it's enough to win an International Literary Award. If it can be proven that he is the author of this book, I will thoroughly investigate the college entrance exam matter.
I didn't expect. The quality of this book has already surpassed most authors nationwide. Those who can win international awards are all highly celebrated and influential figures.
If that's the case, then I believe it even less. That Ye Dongqing, with his limited talent, could write such a timeless masterpiece.
Exactly. I don't believe it either.
None of us believe it.
Right, we don't believe it.
I don't believe it. We 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 don't believe it.
It's no use if you don't believe it. Because this book was published by me. I can prove this book was indeed written by Ye Dongqing.
Dongqing, such a big deal as submitting a manuscript. Why have you never told me about it?
I originally wanted to give you a surprise, but you surprised me first, allowing me to see your true colors.
My son has been writing at home all these days, and we can prove it.
You're just a country bumpkin, hardly literate. How would you know what he's been writing all day at home?
It's simply that your son has poor character, and you, as his father, are still lying to protect him. Honestly, you all are truly disgusting.
Are you all deaf? Editor Wang has already confirmed I'm the author, yet you still dare to speak disrespectfully to my family? Apologize to my parents now.
I think this editor Wang must have been bribed by this kid. They're in cahoots, so his words don't count.
The book is called To Live. Why is everyone gone? This Fugui is so pathetic.
Governor, what's the matter? Such a fuss, Governor. Someone named Ye Dongqing is falsely claiming to be the national top scholar. The editors of To Live have all rushed to speak up for him, saying he is the author of To Live, and it's impossible for him to steal others' achievements.
What? How could such a profound author care about fame? And how could he be without fame? Come with me to find out the truth.
That's nonsense. I am the editor-in-chief of the Daxia Huashe branch office. How could I possibly spread rumors about it?
Then what evidence do you have to prove that he wrote this masterpiece?
This manuscript is the evidence.
Excellent. I just knew that Mr. K was not a good person. With this manuscript out, it will definitely expose him.
Why are you so excited? It's just a manuscript. What does it prove? Even if Living was indeed written by Dongqing, that still has nothing to do with being the top scholar. I think this Ye family is just deceptively honest, with a hidden malicious streak.
This manuscript was personally handed to me by Ye Dongqing himself. Isn't this enough to prove that the author of this book is Ye Dongqing?
This book is a national sensation right now, yet not a single person has come forward to claim plagiarism. Could it be that Dongqing really wrote this book?
That's impossible. How could an uncultured lowlife like him possibly write such an extraordinary book?
Teacher Yan, there's another very important point. You can check if the handwriting from the top scholar's college entrance exam essay is the same as the handwriting on this manuscript. Could this prove that my title as top scholar was stolen by someone?
Damn it. How did he get the manuscript? This kind of thing? Could it be? He prepared for this in advance?
It's really just as he wrote.
That's right. This is indeed the handwriting of the top scorer. A perfect match.
What? Did Brother Shin really replace Ye Dongqing as the top scorer?
Mom! Look! Teacher Yan has already confirmed it. He is the top scorer in the college entrance exam. I knew he would definitely succeed.
How is that possible? He was actually framed.
The top scorer is a rare genius watched by the whole country. This live broadcast, at least 10 million people are watching simultaneously. Now, this K. Shin, I'm afraid it will be hard for him to recover.
Now that the evidence is undeniable, what else do you have to say?
I just knew. Our son would never fail.
Our Dongqing has brought honor to our family. He's the top student nationwide.
Brought honor to the family? This kind of scum who stole credit, he has truly disgraced our ancestors.
Dad.
He's completely disgraced them.
Ke Sihai, what do you mean by that?
I mean, his manuscript was stolen from our Keshin. His manuscript, it was stolen from our son, Keshin.
That's right. I hadn't spoken until now, because I couldn't believe any of this. Dongqing was my best classmate. I never thought he would actually steal my manuscript.
No wonder the handwriting matches. So you're the thief, you little scoundrel.
Oh, you? You copied essays during tests and secretly stole a classmate's literary work? You trashy scumbag. Why don't you just disappear?
See what I told you? I said that Ye Dongqing was never any good. He's full of wicked schemes and treats everyone else like fools.
Could it really be Ye Dongqing who stole his classmates' work, hoping to kill two birds with one stone?
Being poor is one thing, but to be of such poor character. You rat from the gutter. Did you only teach your son how to dig holes?
That's nonsense. My son is definitely not that kind of person. I saw my son with my own eyes, writing at home for the past 2 weeks. How could this be fake?
Uncle Ye, you're still defending your son? Now the evidence is undeniable. Your son is trash. He's a thief.
Oh, undeniable evidence, is it? Where's your proof? The work has been published for so long. Why didn't you say anything sooner?
I think you're just maliciously framing an honest man. Aren't you afraid when the governor, who oversees all the legal affairs of the city, arrives, he'll come to question you aggressively? Even if the governor were here, this national top scholar, this unparalleled masterpiece, it belongs to my son, Kashin.
How dare you? Stirring up trouble and even spewing such arrogant nonsense here. How dare you?
You even managed to bring Governor Zhao. Today, I'll see how that trash gets out of this.
Governor Zhao, what brings you here? This is just a small matter. We can handle it ourselves.
A small matter? A genius who can write both To Live and The Death of Red Hair simultaneously. Such a prodigy. It's no exaggeration to call him a once-in-a-century talent. Such a genius is under controversy. And you call this a small matter?
Governor Zhao is absolutely right. I worked tirelessly for over 10 years, just to cultivate such talent as Ke Xin, such profound skill. Yet he is slandered by this young man. I implore you, sir, to investigate thoroughly.
Oh, how delightful. So Ke Xin is so shameless because you nurtured him. You wronged me. And yet you act as if you've been unjustly accused.
I have surveillance as proof. It has already been submitted to the governor's office for verification. How can you possibly argue with that?
Surveillance?
Immediately verify the contents of the surveillance.
Yes, sir. Surveillance is extremely rare these days. Who would bother installing it for no reason? I think they planned this all along. Dongqing is in trouble now.
An upright person fears no false accusations. If he didn't do something, how can others slander him?
The office did indeed receive a surveillance tape. The footage shows Ye Dongqing taking a manuscript from Ke Xin's home.
What do you have to say for yourself now?
This is all a complete fabrication. Before the exam, Ke Xin pleaded with me time and again to correct his homework. I took his homework home, just to correct it, that's all.
Your Excellency, I guarantee, with my 30 years of teaching experience, that Dongqing would never falsely accuse anyone. He is the most diligent, hard-working, and talented child I have ever met.
I trust my son. I'm willing to stake my life on it. Please, Your Excellency, investigate thoroughly.
The Ke family reeks of money. And Ke Xin, that kid, his eyes are shifty. I just don't believe you could write about the great integrity in the demise of Red Hair. Nor do I believe you could write about the hardships in To Live. Therefore, I implore Your Excellency to investigate thoroughly. Since you are so certain, do you dare to make a wager with me? What do you want to bet? If I produce crucial evidence proving that Ye Dongqing maliciously slandered my son, you will all kneel and admit your wrongdoing, then crawl between Ke Xin and my legs, and furthermore, all your assets will be transferred to my name. If I lose, I will do the same. Do you dare to bet? Do you dare to bet?
Oh my. This is a huge gamble. The Ke family is one of the 4 great families of the southern province. Their financial power is not to be underestimated. To bet so much.
This shows that Ye Dongqing is truly a despicable person. Don't you think Ke Xin was wronged? Me? I think they are just talking big. They don't dare to bet at all.
We'll bet with you. We'll bet with you.
You just want my money, don't you? I believe this young man. Good. Please welcome Lin Wensheng. Please welcome Lin Wensheng.
Lin Wensheng. This is the leading figure in the literary circles of Nansheng, the most renowned literary master, with countless works to his name.
That's right. Lin Wensheng lived a life of integrity, cherishing his writings above all else, and created vivid characters. I never thought I'd have the honor of meeting the venerable old man today.
Master, what brings you here?
If I didn't come, my only student would be wrongly accused.
Are you saying The Death of the Red Hair and To Live?
I taught Ke Xin to write both of them. I taught Ke Xin to write both of them.
Exactly.
How could my grandfather frame Dongqing? I didn't even know he taught Ke Xin. Mom, what are you doing?
Stop watching. Don't you trust your grandfather? And besides, Why are you always worried about that good-for-nothing? You should really prepare yourself to marry young Master Zhou.
I won't marry him. You marry him if you want. My grandfather's reputation is too big. Dongqing might become a target of public criticism. I have to go help him.
Look at the wonderful child you've raised.
Me? That's right. After To Live was published, I knew you stole my manuscript. All these days, I was only waiting for an apology. But what did I get? Betrayal. Slander. Yi Dongqing, I am so disappointed in you.
Yi Dongqing, I'm also extremely disappointed in you. Keishin treated you as his best friend and shared his works with you, yet you stole his creations.
You believe everything he says?
With both human testimony and physical evidence, Ye Dongqing, are you still not going to admit your guilt?
The well-known Lin Wensheng. How could he frame a junior like you? I think you trash should hurry up and kneel and apologize to Brother Shin.
What a menace. Look at your parents. They're old already, plus Teacher Zhang and Mr. Li. They're all respectable figures. And now, because of you, they're about to lose everything and publicly kneel and apologize to others. If I were you, I would have just ended it all.
Let's see if you'll end it all later. Mr. Lin Wensheng, may I ask you a question? Do you know Teacher Yu?
Teacher Yu? I don't know any Teacher Cat.
Then let me ask you another question. The currently released To Live only has the first volume. Have you and he finished editing the second volume?
Not yet. Why are you asking these questions?
Oh, just asking. Editor Wang, please bring out the second volume I gave you.
Director Zhang. Director Zhang. The ratings have broken 10%.
What? The buzz from this interview with the national top scholar is actually over 100 times. Higher than in previous years.
There's just too much exciting content. To Live is already popular nationwide. If the second volume comes out, it'll definitely be an epic hit.
Excellent, excellent. Call the field reporters. Call the field reporters. Don't just stand there idly. Immediately liven up the atmosphere. Liven up the atmosphere.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Ye Dongqing gave me. The second volume of To Live.
There's a second volume? Didn't Lin Wensheng just say he hadn't finished writing it yet?
Exactly.
Why is the second volume with Ye Dongqing, Mr. Lin Wensheng? Are you maliciously framing him?
You're a reporter, spewing nonsense. Lin Wensheng is a man of great prestige, a role model in countless hearts. How dare you question him?
You got the first volume. Was it really that hard to get the second? I think you wrote this yourself.
The second volume must be completely irrelevant and nonsensical. As for the first volume of Living, I guided Keishin to write it myself.
Keishin said he didn't write the second volume, so the handwriting in both volumes is consistent. Are you trying to say I'm forging the handwriting?
Honey, could Lin Wensheng have really taken money to give false testimony?
How is that possible? With Lin Wensheng's reputation and status, he's not short on money. He's already in the twilight of his life. How could he ruin his own reputation?
Aren't you just exposing yourself? Since you came prepared, is it really hard to forge handwriting?
Yi Dongqing, you're truly driven by greed. You must be desperate for fame. You replaced the top scholar, tarnished a classic work, and slandered the current literary sage. From today on, we are no longer connected. We are no longer friends.
10 years. 10 years of friendship can't earn your trust. I don't need a friend like you either. Lin Wensheng, may I ask, do you have any other unpublished works?
Living was my magnum opus, my final work. There are no other works.
All right then. Editor Wang, did you bring what I asked you to?
It's all here.
Each of these 4 books is no less significant than Living. Do I really need to steal his work? Do I really need to plagiarize your work?
That's impossible?
Such a moving book, and you have 4 more.
Impossible. You're so young. How could you write anything more brilliant than To Live?
Oh, by the way, I need your help with something else.
What is it?
Publish these 4 books in secret, no promotions, and on the day the exam results come out, if someone tries to take credit for my work, just bring these 4 books and the manuscripts to me.
All right, all right.
It's a good thing I had a backup plan. Take a look.
I'd like to see what nonsense you've written. Some masks are worn for so long they can't be taken off. What's more terrifying than ghosts is the human heart.
What's more terrifying than ghosts is the human heart. This. Did you write this?
No way, how could he possibly write such a piece? He must have just gotten lucky.
Exactly.
My emotional naivety was like a house with tightly shut doors and windows. Even though the footsteps of love walked past the door and then came back, I heard them, but I thought they were just passing by, footsteps heading towards someone else, until one day, these footsteps stopped here and then the doorbell rang. Such a deeply moving work. You wrote all of this?
Director Zhang, our ratings just surpassed 15%. Hundreds of millions of people are watching, and the hotlines are completely jammed. Many people want to reserve. Ye Dongqing's The Seventh Day.
What? This is the highest rating I've ever had since I started making shows. Ye Dongqing, how many more surprises? Can you give me?
Your fearlessness comes from ignorance. He actually has such profound insights into human nature.
Weakness and ignorance are not obstacles to survival. Arrogance is. Sentences like these, I could never write them in my life.
Give civilization to the ages, not the ages to civilization. It's incredibly well written. It makes me realize that I should live life to the fullest in the limited time I have. Brilliant. Truly brilliant.
This is a masterpiece that single-handedly elevated the standard of Daxia's science fiction novels to a world-class level. How could it not be brilliant?
People should control their habits. Never let habits control them. We must fight to the very end. Only death will make me leave the battle. Such powerful, willful, and even civilization-spanning works, how did you manage to write them?
Just take out some paragraphs, and they are truly earth-shattering. It's hard to imagine the complete editions of these books, how absolutely mind-blowing they must be.
Impossible. He's just like me, just a high school student. How could he possibly have written so many masterpieces?
It's been a long time since I've heard such inspiring words. I declare from now on, I am his loyal fan.
Looking at the entire literary scene in our land, or even the whole world, I doubt there are many people who could write such beautiful sentences, right?
Yes, absolutely. Indeed.
Oh, tell me, how did this high school student manage to do it?
Give civilization to the years, not years to civilization. This young man shows me a literary superstar, a blaze. Our land's literary world is saved.
The ratings have broken 30%. That's a national historical high. This high school student is about to be famous.
I've been teaching for so many years, and Dongqing is the most promising of them all. I truly didn't misjudge him.
I've taught for so many years, searched for so many talented students, and today I've finally found one. What's more, he's a towering talent.
I told you our son would be successful.
Now, can it be proven that To Live was written by me? Can it be proven that I am the top scholar in the college entrance exam? I am the top scholar.
He effortlessly penned timeless masterpieces. Why would he need to plagiarize?
Lin Wensheng, Dongqing created so many articles at once, he is simply a once-in-a-millennium prodigy. Can you bear to see such a brilliant mind go unnoticed?
Dongqing is definitely a shining new star in the literary world of Daxia, who will illuminate its future. Are you trying to destroy the literary world of Daxia?
What that teacher just said is absolutely correct. He casually wrote eternal classics. Why would he need to copy?
Principal Richard, we received orders from the overseas headquarters to invite Ye Dongqing to join our organization at all costs. You must succeed.
Such a brilliant talent. Of course we cannot let him stay in Daxia. Let's go.
Even if all these were written by Ye Dongqing, that still doesn't prove he's the top scholar nationwide, and certainly not that he wrote To Live.
Right. You just failed your exams, and you're trying to cover it up here. I just don't understand. You, in terms of fame and success, is it really that important to you?
Lin Wensheng, hundreds of millions of people are watching this show right now. Every detail can be scrutinized. If you still have the integrity of a scholar and wish to preserve your dignity, please tell the truth.
It was me. It was me who framed Ye Dongqing.
Lin Wensheng, you shouldn't just say things like that.
I cannot stand by and watch a once-in-a-lifetime genius be wronged, nor can I hinder his progress. The death of red hair and To Live have nothing to do with me, and even less with Kexin. It is I who am to blame. I am truly ashamed.
Are you saying To Live and the death of red hair were all written by Ye Dongqing?
What? Does that mean Kexin really swapped out Ye Dongqing's exam paper?
So, in other words, Ye Dongqing is not only the national champion, but also the author of 5 legendary masterpieces? He's a true literary giant.
Indeed. Oh, but why would someone as respected as Lin Wensheng slander a junior?
Kexin, what exactly is going on here?
What's there to ask? Lin Wensheng has admitted to framing Kexin for impersonation and tampering with exam papers. This is a sure thing.
You're lying and slandering. You're all lying. You're all ganging up to bully me. Commander Zhao, you have to believe me. It was Dongqing who copied my exam paper and stole my manuscript.
Well, then tell me, what's the general content of those 4 books? And tell me, what's the main idea behind the death of red hair? It's integrity. You're full of lies, without even the most basic integrity. How could you possibly write an essay like that? How could you write such a groundbreaking work?
Stop struggling. Ye Dongqing is right. He has the original manuscripts of the 4 books. Your college entrance exam essay and To Live won't pass inspection. Confess.
Seize them. All.
Wait.
This kid seems to have some talent. Have him write some papers for me. I also want the rights to his new book.
Mary University, funded by the Zhou family, has already gone to recruit him. Young Master Zhou, the task you gave me, I'll definitely handle it well.
Isn't that my fiancée? What is she doing there?
Director Zhang, news just came from headquarters. Ratings have soared past 40%. Nearly half the country is following this matter very closely.
Excellent. I never imagined that a casually organized interview would bring my career such high achievements. Thank you, Dongqing. Thank you, Ye Wensheng.
Hold on.
Isn't that Lin Wensheng's granddaughter? Why is she here?
What? Could there be a twist to this story?
Wait a minute.
Isn't that the top scorer from last year's Southern Province College entrance exam? Why is she here?
She's not just Southern Province's most talented lady, she's also Grandfather Lin's granddaughter. Don't fret, there's definitely a twist coming.
Grandfather, you can't frame Dongqing. Please, Grandfather, tell the truth. Grandfather, say something. Dongqing studies so diligently. Her aunt and uncle make ends meet, working tirelessly to put her through school. Dongqing cannot bear this kind of false accusation. She cannot be taken away by Governor Zhao.
How do you know that Ye Dongqing is innocent? What if I insist on taking her?
Then you are simply one who cannot tell right from wrong, shielding others. Even if I exert all my strength, I will gather evidence to clear Dongqing's name.
In my past life, after my parents passed away, it was Lin Ying who gave me money for the funeral, and she kept encouraging and supporting me. It's a pity that in my past life, I felt unworthy of her and moved to a big city. It was a long time later that I found out that the Zhou family had driven her to her demise. She would rather end her life than marry into the Zhou family. In this life, I must make up for the regrets of my previous life, to give you the chance to choose your own marriage and choose your own life.
Get lost. In the entire Southern Province, who doesn't know that you are my fiancé? The Lin family has already accepted the betrothal gifts, and you run off to protect some little punk. Do you still have any respect for me?
Well, should we go over there now and bring Miss Lin back?
Are you foolish or am I? Wouldn't it be embarrassing to go there now? With so many people watching the live broadcast nationwide, what can I do to her? Just wait. No matter how talented he is, what can he achieve? As long as he agrees to go to an overseas academy, I have many ways to utterly ruin him.
What are you laughing at? A disaster is imminent, and you're still laughing?
Student Lin, you've got it wrong. Governor Zhao isn't here to arrest Dongqing, but to arrest Ke-Xin and his group.
What?
Just now, the young man presented 4 copies of More Famous Than Living. Grandpa has already revealed the truth.
Everything has been clarified. The verification will just take some time.
That's wonderful. Grandpa, then why did you frame Dongqing? Didn't you always teach me to be honest and to keep my word?
Your mother arranged your engagement, but Grandpa knows. You don't want to marry into the Zhou family. The Ke family said they had a solution, but the condition was that I had to cooperate with them to frame Dongqing. I am guilty. I am guilty.
Grandpa Lin, so you did all this for Lin Ying?
In this world, besides my granddaughter, what else could drive this old man? It's all my fault. I couldn't stop the alliance between the two families. Lin Ying genuinely cares about you. If you care about her too, I hope you can forgive and forget and help her out of this predicament. This old man humbly begs you. I, your humble servant, beg your assistance in this matter.
Grandpa.
Mr. Lin, please stand up. Don't worry. I will not let Lin Ying marry into the Zhou family.
You filthy bug. Who do you think you are?
Exactly. What is the Ke family, anyway? Do they really think they can bargain with you? This is simply using your reputation to run wild outside.
Although Casey High has done a lot for me, this time he went too far. Especially that Dongqing. His entire family is nothing more than a bunch of vermin from the gutter. To criticize my marriage under the nation's spotlight, he's practically asking for trouble.
What is this nonsense? They are a perfect match. A match made in heaven. What right do you, an ugly toad, have to point fingers here?
Right. He just got the top score on some insignificant exam, didn't he? He just wrote a few worthless books. So what? You, kid, do you really dare to go against the mighty Zhou family? Like that? I think you are just digging your own grave.
I've had enough of you. Aren't you just jealous of Dongqing's good grades? Always meddling here. Besides, whether I want to marry Zhou Tianzhe or not, what business is it of yours?
Who's jealous of him? Even if this kid studies for 100 years, it won't change that he comes from the lowest rung of society.
He just has good grades and wrote a few worthless books, right? Who hasn't had moments of exceptional performance? Trash like him who just seeks attention, we wouldn't even look at him twice.
You?
Is this how you treat the greatest genius in the Great Sai dynasty?
Isn't that the president of Western Mari University? Why is he here?
Wow. Mari University is a world-renowned institution, and those who study there are among the world's top students. If I could get in, it would be a huge stroke of luck for my family.
Hello, we've heard about your achievements and accomplishments. Our Mari University is interested in you. We can offer a $5 million scholarship for you to study abroad at the Mari University headquarters. Are you interested?
Miss Lin, for that Dongqing, you dared to offend your own grandfather, reprimand others, and in front of everyone, you said you wouldn't marry young master. This just shows utter disrespect for you.
Lin Ying, this young master is determined to marry you and then humiliate you day and night, making you pay the price for what you did today.
In this country, no one can resist the allure of Mari University. Once that Dongqing goes abroad, he'll be completely at your mercy, young master.
Exactly. Then, this young master will show that pest what true torment is.
Honestly, what incredible fortune to have the president of Mari University personally recruit students.
What's there to be proud of? If I study for another year, I could get into Mari too.
Dongqing, Mari University's teaching quality is truly excellent. How about you? Give it some thought?
Teacher Zhang, you are also a teacher of Daxia. Why would you send such an excellent student abroad? Dongqing, no matter which academy you choose, we are willing to offer you a scholarship of 5 million, giving you the best educational resources.
But don't you know how many college students are striving to study abroad? That's because the teaching resources abroad are better. This child, Dongqing, only by going abroad can he maximize his potential.
Moreover, the $5 million I mentioned is in US dollars. As long as you come, I guarantee I'll make you a top global talent so that after graduation, you'll earn $1 million a month and achieve ultimate success in life.
5 million US dollars? That's over 40 million. Surely no one could refuse such a temptation, right?
Dongqing, I was wrong about everything before. As a friend, I truly think you should consider studying abroad.
Ye Dongqing, you should just stay a regular worker. This kind of opportunity should be mine. Only a family like mine can handle it. And look at you. What kind of people are your parents?
People should only take what they deserve. You tried to steal from others and failed, and now you're slandering me and my parents. Do you even have the right? What a load of rubbish. I couldn't care less.
You don't care for it. This is an opportunity that countless students dream of. You don't care for it? Who are you kidding?
Dongqing, this opportunity, Keishin is green with envy over it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance, so think about it carefully.
Dongqing, are you worried about your dad and me? Don't worry. You don't need to worry. If you want to go, just go. We'll take good care of ourselves.
Mr. Zhang has taken good care of our family all these years. Since he wants you to go, you should think about it seriously.
We'll still provide the scholarship. We will nurture you well. Yi Dongqing.
Director Zhang, the viewership has surpassed 50%. The whole nation is paying close attention to this. If Ye Dongqing publicly announces he's going to study abroad, this might have a significant impact on domestic college admissions. Should we cut the live broadcast?
No. Even if we cut it now, the news will spread sooner or later. And I believe Ye Dongqing won't let me down. He won't let the people of Great Xia down.
We will nurture you well, Ye Dongqing.
These naive locals, no matter how much you offer, what's the use? Ye Dongqing, won't he still come with us?
Is Ye Dongqing going to change his mind?
Richard here offered such excellent terms, only a fool would refuse them. What's more, he now has nothing to hold him back. I'm sure he'll go.
Just now you said you didn't care for it. I think you're just being stubborn, making excuses.
Right. What's wrong with admiring foreign cultures? Isn't it just you, kid? Why can't you just openly admit it?
I said I don't care for it, and I don't. Whether it's 5 million or 500 million, 5 billion, I will not study abroad. Mr. Zhang, thank you for your suggestion, and for your guidance all this time. However, I believe our great Xia country's future educational resource will certainly surpass those abroad. Not only that, our great Xia country's job market will also far exceed those abroad. Because our great Xia has countless students like me. Their hearts are with great Xia, with our homeland, and with the future. We study, not just for our small families, but even more so for our country. Therefore, I will not be going to study abroad. I will not study abroad.
Good. Well said.
Director Zhang.
It's been a long time since I've seen such a passionate young person. That was really great. Now, the viewership rating no longer matters. What's important is that our Greatland has produced a prodigy.
I knew I hadn't judged him wrongly. None of us, Greatland citizens, judged him wrongly. Well done.
Before I truly misunderstood him, this young man, he's truly impressive.
All right, you penniless little brat. You'd actually give up such a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to turn things around. Stop putting on an act.
As a Greatland citizen, one must possess the Greatland spirit. Someone like you, who would stoop to any means for personal gain, you'll never understand it in your lifetime.
Ye Dongqing, you've rejected the invitation from a prestigious foreign university. You'll never surpass me in your life's achievements. What's the use of scoring well? This society values power and connections. My K family, with our immense wealth and influence, I'll still crush you.
Ke Xin, how can you still be so unrepentant? I really don't recognize you anymore.
Don't you dare play innocent with me. You vile woman. What are you pretending for? Repent for what? So I just impersonated someone. What about it? It's just a few days in there, isn't it? Once I'm out, I'll still be the young master of the K family.
You really are completely clueless about the law. Our country has implemented strict measures to prevent situations where years of hard study go unnoticed, only for someone with a high score to be impersonated. Once discovered, you will be permanently banned from taking any exams. Not only that, you could face a prison sentence of 3 to 7 years. Just wait for your time in jail.
Teacher Yan. I was just joking. I don't want to go to jail, Teacher Yan.
Governor Zhao, this bottle of medicine, I took it from Keishin. He wanted my father to take it. I now strongly suspect that there is poison in this bottle. I kindly ask for your thorough investigation.
Governor Zhao, I've been wronged. He's slandering me.
Take them away and investigate this matter to the very end. If there truly is poison in it, then he is guilty of poisoning and attempted harm. With both offenses punished consecutively, he will spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Governor Zhao. Governor Zhao. Dad.
How dare you send my son to prison? You just wait. I'm not done with you over this.
He had it coming. If you want trouble, I'm ready for it.
Also, the two of you, slandering a top scholar, mocking a national talent, your character is corrupt, unfit for higher education, your admission is revoked.
No. 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 Mr. Yan, we were all misled by Keishin, and everything we just said, we didn't mean it. Please, let us off the hook.
Yes, Mr. Yan. We were both deceived by a villain. Look, we also studied hard for years. It wasn't easy to get into college. Please give us a break and let me off. Dongqing, we were classmates after all. Look, I helped you out a lot too. When we were in school, why don't you put in a good word for us with Mr. Yan?
Please, put in a good word.
When you two were being so unreasonable and cursing me, did you ever think that I also studied hard for years? When you two were being so aggressive, did you ever think of sparing me? As for the care you mentioned during school, that was you cursing me for being poor, while making me do the dirtiest and most exhausting work in class. Is that what you call taking care of me?
Take them both away for a thorough investigation. If they bullied other students during their time at school, they must be severely punished, with no leniency. Take them away.
Teacher Yan.
Teacher Yan, you.
Teacher Yan.
Teacher Yan.
Well done. That was truly amazing. I was almost misled by them. If it weren't for Ye Dongqing's impressive effort, we would have been slandered by these petty people.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. These bullies who exploit others deserve what they get.
Awesome. The class monitor always bullied us, and often bullied us. Now he's finally been caught and is under investigation.
It's all my fault. I was truly negligent.
Now that they've all been taken away for investigation, you don't have to be upset anymore. Join our Marble University.
I'm not upset. I just don't care for it.
You!
Mr. Richard, let's go.
Our Marble University is funded by the Zhou family. If you cross us, you'll regret it.
This Ye Dongqing, since he doesn't want such a great opportunity, I think he's just foolish.
It's all right. I have plenty of ways to finish them off. Lin Ying's mother, Lin Ying, publicly said she doesn't want to marry me, which made me lose face. Does she want to turn against our Zhou family?
What? Young Master Zhou, please don't be angry. That girl was just talking nonsense. I'll have her rush back right away to apologize to you.
Prepare yourself. I'm coming over now to get an explanation.
It's the Zhou family again. It seems this Zhou family is quite powerful.
That's wonderful. We finally found out the truth. Our son passed the National Top Scholar exam. He didn't fail. He didn't fail.
Although he can't study abroad, I believe, Dongqing will surely achieve great things.
Dad, Mom, in this lifetime, I will definitely make sure you both live a good life.
Okay.
I knew it. Dongqing will always be that shiniest star.
The national top scholar, come, say a few words to everyone.
Go all out, and make the most of your youth. I wish all test takers that years of hard study and diligent effort will eventually bring tenfold, even 100-fold rewards.
Did you get through? Did it connect?
The phone isn't connecting. I've already sent the butler to pick her up.
It's all your fault for arranging their engagement. If it really comes down to it, even if we have to pay everything we own to the Zhou family, we must break off the engagement to ensure Ying'er's happiness.
How much is the Lin family's fortune worth anyway? How much is the Lin family's fortune worth anyway? You want to use the Lin family's fortune to apologize to this young master?
He's just old and confused. Please don't listen to his nonsense. This Lin family has a legacy of hundreds of years. It's not something he alone can decide.
Me? How can I not decide? I am the head of the Lin family. We must fully respect Ying'er's wishes.
Not long ago, the Lin family faced a financial crisis, but I provided 30 million as a betrothal gift. What? Now that things have turned around, are you going to deny everything?
How dare you bring that up? I only found out later. You incited those manufacturers to delay my payments, causing my financial chain to break. You just want to take over the Lin family and then claim Ying'er for yourself.
Someone like you is hardly qualified to point fingers at our young master.
You want to break off the engagement? Fine. One of you two just needs to perish, and I can call off the engagement. This young master doesn't even care about the Lin family's paltry possessions. However, I do enjoy watching people despair.
What exactly do you mean by that? Do you truly want someone to be harmed? Will you only stop then? Are you trying to end up behind bars?
Your misfortune is none of my business. You only get one chance. It's up to you.
All right.
As expected of a truly gifted national top scholar, I will definitely recommend the best schools and teachers to you.
Dongqing, this is my business card. From now on, whether you want to publish books or if you need my help in life, you can always come find me.
Okay.
Oh no, miss. Excuse me, miss. Something bad has happened.
What is it?
The Zhou family has come knocking. Madam wants you to go home immediately.
I'll go back right now.
Wait! The Zhou family is surely up to no good. I'll go with you.
Honey, isn't it just marrying young Master Zhou? What's so bad about that, honey?
Can't you see? Xiao Ying loves Dongqing. After this incident, young Master Zhou definitely won't let Xiao Ying off the hook. I cannot ruin Xiao Ying's lifelong happiness. Young Master Zhou, you must keep your word.
Of course I keep my word, but if you dilly-dally any longer, I might just change my mind.
Father, no! Dad?
Don't save me! Let me go!
Dad, didn't you always teach me to be strong and happy? Why are you giving up first?
I've harmed you. You shouldn't have this engagement. Only if I perish can you be saved.
Elder sir, I can fix this, trust me. Besides, if you perish, do you think they'll let the Lin family off? This white silk looks so familiar. In my past life, my mother suddenly took her own life at home, and it was Lin Ying who gave me money, after comforting me. Could it be that my mother was also driven to it by him? A privileged scion? Forcing someone to take their own life. Aren't you afraid the Enforcement Bureau will sentence you to death?
Death sentence? So many people have met their end in front of me. Why am I still safe and sound?
It seems he has driven many people to their unfortunate ends, and even enjoyed it.
That's utterly deranged. I think you're just twisted and depraved.
When you marry me, my lady, I'll show you what truly losing your mind means.
I remember now. My neighbor said on the day my mother passed, several luxury cars drove past our house. It seems he really was the one who drove my mother to her death. My mother must have been doing it for me, ending her life, begging him to spare me. Damn it. As long as I'm here today, you won't bully anyone. And I won't let Lin Ying marry a hypocrite like you.
The Lin family accepted my dowry of $30 million. It's all in black and white. Why shouldn't she marry me?
Just 30 million? I'll pay it back to you.
30 million isn't enough. I want 300 million.
Even loan sharks aren't as greedy as you. Why do you want 300 million?
Even the richest man in Jiangcheng cannot produce 300 million in cash. You're making an outrageous demand.
The 30 million young Master Zhou lent to the Lin family was based on a gambling agreement. If the profit doesn't exceed 1,000%, then you owe us 200 million. As for the other 100 million, that's for young Master Zhou's reputation.
What?
I am the foremost young master in the capital. My influence spans the globe. Is it too much to ask for 100 million from you?
300 million it is. I will pay you back within 3 days. But can this wedding be called off?
Do you really think that writing a few lousy books can get you 300 million? Fine. I agree to your terms. But if you can't pay it back, I'll send you each a silken cord.
With me here, your Joe family will be on its last breath. Keep the silken cord for yourselves.
A mere insect. Don't tell me you actually believe that years of diligent study can compare to my century-old empire? How dare you say my Joe family will be on its last breath? You're asking for trouble.
Just years of diligent study might not be enough, but my talent and insight are quite sufficient. In my previous life, I struggled without startup funds, unable to start a business. Now, I know everything that will happen in the next 10 plus years. Just with this knowledge alone, I can build my fortune.
Talent? Let me tell you, talent means nothing in the face of capital. Don't you believe it? I could finish you off right now and get away with it.
Just a few of you? Not enough.
To deal with a pest like you, it's more than enough.
I have thousands upon thousands of people behind me. A few of you really aren't enough.
Are you out of your mind from all that studying? Where are these thousands upon thousands of people? Here, even if we finish you off, no one would ever know.
Before I came, I already arranged for reporters to interview me here. I have thousands of scholars behind me, thousands of citizens, thousands of students. Try to touch me.
All right, I'd like to see. Who falls first? You or the Joe family?
I'll be waiting.
If you want them to live, then you'd better meekly marry me. Let's go.
It's all your fault, you jinx. You just had to offend the Joe family. How are we supposed to live now?
Mom, this has nothing to do with Dongqing. Besides, were you really just gonna stand there and watch Dad pass away?
Isn't it his fault? I really don't understand. He's just a little better at studying. A little better at reading, isn't he? When people like him enter society, they're just easy pickings. You offended the Joe family for him. Is it worth it?
Learning has countless uses. You can't just look at the surface. What's more, Dongqing is worth it.
Of course. As for the 300 million, I will pay it back. But please, do not listen to him and do something foolish. Lin Ying, would you be willing to witness a business miracle with me?
I am willing.
I have read countless science fiction masterpieces, both domestic and foreign, but I have never come across such an ingenious masterpiece. I originally thought that Dongqing was an expert at writing realistic themes. It turns out he's also brilliant at science fiction.
Mr. Lee, Dongqing would like to see you. Mr. Lee, Dongqing would like to see you.
Show him in quickly. I have a few questions I'd like to ask him. Please, have a seat, both of you. Young friend Yi, are you here for the publication this time? Don't worry, I plan to publish your book in both domestic and international versions. I believe your book will surely become a global bestseller.
I'll leave the publication to Uncle Lee. I came here today for another matter.
Have you finished the second part of the three-body problem?
No. The thing is this.
From childhood until now, no bug has dared to challenge my authority.
We just checked. No reporters went to the Joe family's home. We've been played by him.
Do you think I'm a fool? Whether it's true or not, he just made a big splash. I couldn't touch him there. I just wanted to scare him a little. I didn't expect him to see through it.
Young Master Joe, are you saying he figured we wouldn't dare to touch him? That's why he was so arrogant?
Exactly. Go and monitor his every move. He's probably not just an intellectual.
So, that's the situation. This Zhou family is truly out of control. They're going too far. So, what do you plan to do? Don't worry, I can give you the 300 million.
No need. Zhou Tianze wants to blackmail me. I definitely need to make him pay. There's a land bidding conference this afternoon. Are you interested, Uncle Lee?
You dabble in land speculation? But wouldn't doing this be a bit too risky?
No. Young friend Yi has profound insights and understanding of human civilization. I believe this small matter of land speculation won't be difficult for him. But why did you think of land speculation?
Because for the next 20 years, school district housing is paramount. Many families can't afford it, leading to poor learning environments. I want more students to get a good education and more parents to spend less and bear lighter burdens. In my past life, the Zhou family hoarded most of the land. Then, after profiting from real estate, they sold off their assets and fled abroad, completely ignoring the unfinished projects and even the educational conditions. This led to many families being destroyed because they couldn't afford huge mortgage payments. In this life, I must prevent these tragedies.
Young friend Yi is indeed a hero for the people. So what are your plans?
To secure key properties and wipe out the Zhou family.
I understand. I just received news that Dongqing and Lin Ying went to see Li Wenchang. Then, the three of them rushed to Jiangcheng Real Estate's bidding conference.
Real estate? Who in the world doesn't know that my Zhou family made its fortune through property speculation? They really don't know their place.
Looking across the entire southern province, only the Zhou family is fit to speculate in land. As for that Li Wenchang, he's only fit to play with mud.
Call Casey High, and let's go have some fun with him.
Casey Hai? Wasn't he taken in for investigation?
That cunning fellow. He was released ages ago. He pushed all the blame onto others, and just contacted me, saying he wants to seek revenge on Dongqing. Perfect. Let's make it happen for him.
Dongqing, it's good to have ideals, but business is business. You want to take over the real estate of the entire province? I find that a bit too outlandish. At most, I can help you secure part of the real estate.
That's enough. There will be new regulations in 3 days, and by then, our land will multiply its value tenfold.
Keep dreaming.
What's wrong? Instead of staying in custody with your son, why did you come out?
You little rascal. My son's poisoning conviction was upheld. He'll never get out in this lifetime. This is all your fault. You still have the nerve to bring it up?
Your family's shamelessness. It really runs in the family. He clearly wanted to poison my dad to death. He got exactly what he deserved. Everything is falling into place. It seems in my previous life, it really was Kei Xin who killed my dad. He wanted to distract me. Later, the Zhou family, because of Lin Ying, forced my mom to her death. I will have my revenge for this.
You whole family is trash. Your dad was a sickly man. My son sending him to his demise, that was a blessing to him. Your whole family should be grateful to my key family.
Then if I send an evil spirit like you to hell, should you also be grateful to me?
Who's causing such a commotion before the auction? What a disgrace.
Dongqing? Uncle K? What are you doing here?
Little Shen, this Ye Dongqing, he just won't let it go when he thinks he's right. I wanted to offer him compensation and beg him to forgive me and Ke Xin, but he wanted to hit me.
What? Ye Dongqing, we're classmates after all, don't go too far.
Miss Shen, you're truly a joke. Haven't you learned your lesson yet? You still believe what he says?
That's beside the point. Seeing is believing. All I saw was you trying to hit Uncle K. Ke Xin is already inside. What else are you still so angry about?
From now on, stay away from this brute. These low-class people, they're just petty and narrow-minded, with no vision.
It was Casey Hai who used Uncle Ye to humiliate Dongqing. That's why he was like that.
All right. It's no use talking to them anymore. The bidding conference is about to begin.
What? You came here to try your hand at property speculation like others?
So what if I did?
I admit you have some talent. Those books you wrote were good. But business is war, and you're just a kid, trying to speculate on land like others. That's a recipe for disaster.
That's right. My dad is a famous developer in the southern province. You should really listen to him.
Enough. I don't need your fake concern here. My money, I won't lose it.
You're really biting the hand that feeds you.
Right. Dongqing is right. With me, Li, here, he won't lose money.
Mr. Lee, I admit you've done well in business strategy, reaping some benefits. But do you understand real estate? Do you understand urban planning? Do you understand the potential for land appreciation? You're just messing around with this kid.
He's absolutely right. Li Wenchang. My nickname is the Little Prince of Land Speculation in the Southern Province. You are not up to par.
Although the few plots of land I bought before all resulted in losses, I trust, young friend, Ye. The land we're bidding on today will definitely appreciate in value.
I see you're just like this bookworm. Have you become foolish from all that reading? Do you really think he understands land speculation?
My daughter has been with me for many years. Any plot of land she chooses is 1,000 times better than yours.
Dongqing, it's not easy for Mr. Lee to earn money. If you need help, you can ask me.
I don't need it.
You won't even listen to such a beautiful woman's words. You truly don't know how to appreciate beauty. You deserve to lose money.
Since you're so confident, how about we make a bet?
Betting against us? The three of us are famous real estate moguls. You have no chance of winning.
All right, tell me, what do you want to bet on? I'm ready for anything.
Since you have Mr. Lee as your backer, we don't mind making Mr. Lee lose some money. I'm happy to oblige.
Let's bet 300 million in cash. 3 days from now, we'll see who makes more profit from their land purchases. If you lose, each of you owes me 300 million. If I lose, I'll give each of you 300 million. Do you dare to bet?
Losing 900 million all at once. Aren't you afraid Mr. Lee will turn against you?
He's really biting off more than he can chew. In the entire Southern Province, who else would dare to make such a huge bet with the three of us?
So this is the penniless nobody you're interested in? He really doesn't know his place. I think you should go back. And get ready to marry me.
Dongqing, maybe we should just forget it. Don't bet. It's too risky. We can find 300 million if we just pool our resources.
Don't worry. I'm going to win. I'm just asking if you dare to bet.
What's there to be afraid of? It just depends on whether Mr. Lee is willing to be generous.
Dongqing, if you lose, I won't give you the $30 million in copyright fees, and I want to be the first to read the second part of the three-body problem.
No problem.
Good. Since that's the case, I, Lee, will go all out today and indulge my young friend Yi just this once. These $900 million I'll cover. Furthermore, all the money he spends on land today, I will also cover.
In my past life, I only knew Li Wenchang treasured talent above all else, but I never expected it to be this much. This kindness. I won't forget. Tomorrow's stock market turmoil, I will definitely help him make a lot of money.
All right. Since Mr. Lee is willing to give away these $300 million for free, then I will gladly accept it.
Then I will also graciously accept.
All right, we'll gamble with you. But before we gamble, we need to sign a gambling agreement to prevent you from backing out.
It suits me perfectly. Comparing land speculation with a reborn person like me, you're going to lose terribly. Let's go.
He's still just a hothead, isn't he? The money he worked so hard to earn, this time, it's all going to be gone.
I never expected that taking my daughter out to see the world would also net me 300 million. This time, I really hit the jackpot. Ha ha ha. From now on, we must keep in close contact with young Master Zhou. As for scum like Ye Dongqing, from now on, contact him less. Understand?
Miss Shen, are you free tonight? I'll clear my schedule. Come to my room, and I'll teach you all the ins and outs of real estate.
Teach what? Teach how to swindle money and run, leaving unfinished buildings for the public to deal with while you enjoy yourself abroad?
Don't project your filthy thoughts onto me, young master. I'm a legitimate businessman. How could I swindle money and run?
You've probably made a lot of ill-gotten gains, haven't you? In the previous life, Zhou Tianze manipulated housing prices, inflating them to such a degree that ordinary people couldn't afford them. He also established many factories with excessive emissions, polluting water sources, and acting completely unscrupulous. He caused immense harm to the great Xia. In this life, I must prevent these tragedies from happening.
Ye Dongqing, you're just jealous of the rich. A person can lack perspective, lack experience, but how can they hate those who are more accomplished than them? I won't allow you to slander such an outstanding person. As young Master Zhou,
Shen Mengji, you want to climb the social ladder and butter people up? You want to be his lapdog, but don't drag me down.
Zhou Tianze has countless women around him. He lives a wild and extravagant life, and is completely lawless. Ye Dongqing is trying to warn you, so you don't fall for the wrong person. Don't mistake good intentions for bad.
I won't allow you to slander young Master Zhou like that. Young Master Zhou is an internationally renowned young talent. Not only did he invest in Maple University, but he also has excellent academic achievements and has won countless awards. How could such a person be as despicable as you claim?
Miss Shen truly understands me. Unlike those petty people with low standards, who only assume the worst of others. Well then, Miss Shen, are you free tonight?
Yes, I am.
Some people are beyond saving.
The Grand Bidding Conference for Southern Province officially begins. Please maintain quiet. The first plot of land for this auction is the Old City District of Jiang City, Southern Province. The starting price is 10 million.
20 million.
Dongqing, this land is quite ordinary. It hasn't changed in many years. I suggest we don't bid on it.
200 million. 200 million.
Are you crazy? That's 200 million. And you're using, after all, Mr. Lee's money. Is what you're doing really all right?
Let it go. I believe young Master Ye has his own judgment. Let him do as he pleases.
Let him? This is market disruption. This piece of land won't make 100 million in 10 years. And he's bidding 200 million.
If you can't make a profit, you don't have to bid. No one is forcing you. This land will be part of a prime school district in the future. If I remember correctly, it was acquired by the Shen family in my past life. He's had his eye on this land. How could he just let it go?
210 million.
For a prominent family like the Shens, adding 10 million at a time. Is that really interesting? 500 million.
You're really spending someone else's money, so you don't feel any pain, do you? You're just a leech. You won't stop until you've drained others dry, will you?
Mr. Lee got stuck with a character like you. He really is unlucky. This worthless wasteland, could it possibly be worth 500 million?
Drat. I've been secretly watching this land for a long time. Its location is superior. Its value will definitely increase in the future. How did he know I wanted this land?
What? Out of money? If you're out of money, this land is all mine.
600 million. 600 million. Bid all you want. Go on, keep bidding.
Dad, this is already 3 times over budget.
This land, my Shen family, today must have it.
800 million.
My young friend, you're going over budget now.
Uncle Lee, don't worry. The future value of this land is worth far more than this. If we manage it well, it will be of great use later.
Yi Dongqing, that's enough. There's no need to make sure. Everyone loses money. 800 million? It'll take you at least 10 years to break even.
In my hands, it'll only take 3 years to break even.
You!
Ye Dongqing, I only said a few things to you. Do you have to target our family like this?
You're confusing right and wrong, twisting the truth. We signed a gambling agreement. I am an opponent. If that's the case, would you let me off?
1 billion. Bid all you want. I'll see how high you can bid today.
The Shen family certainly has deep pockets, paying 50 times the price to secure this land.
10 billion. Any higher bids?
He's doing it on purpose.
I truly want this piece of land. But I can't compete with how rich the Shen family is. However, the Shen family's financial chain must be broken by now, right?
Are you forcing me to deplete all my assets and cause the Shen family's financial chain to break?
That's right. That way I can take over. This land at a low price anytime.
You!
Brilliant. Let them pay for ganging up and bullying you.
Young Master Zhou, hurry up and bid. This land is definitely a sure thing. The Shen family's financial chain cannot break.
Hey, old Shen. Why are you panicking? As long as we win, isn't there? Still the 300 million gambling agreement in 3 days? The Shen family was just careless for a moment and got caught off guard by your trap. What's there to be so proud of? There are still dozens of plots of land to be auctioned. Let's see what you'll use to compete with me.
I hope you won't be crying when you walk out then.
Sold for 10 billion. Congratulations to Mr. Shen for securing lot number 1.
Congratulations, congratulations. Your wish has come true.
Ye Dongqing, don't go too far.
You won't be arrogant for much longer. Can the profits from your land speculation alone surpass our 3 great families?
That's right. From now on, you won't get any more benefits.
Today's bidding concerns the development plan for the next 30 years in Nan province. For these crucial properties, I am determined to win.
Well, let's wait and see. 600 million.
800 million.
1 billion. 1.4 billion.
2 billion. $500 million.
Sold for 500 million. Congratulations, Mr. Zhou, on securing plot 34.
How strange. It's as if this young man knows which plots we want to buy. When we bid seriously, he raises the price. When we bid casually, he does too. I spent over 2 billion and only managed to get a few plots.
It's not as if. He definitely knows which plots we want to buy. I've dominated the international stage for over a decade, and this is the first time I've felt like I'm living in someone else's shadow.
The Zhou family still has deep pockets, huh? In just this short while, you've spent 4 billion.
What do you have to be so cocky about? Just 3 days from now, once the planning proposal is announced, I'll put out a tender. Then, the money I've spent will multiply several times over. Can you do that?
Didn't you just spend a few $100 million on a dozen or so barren plots? What are you so proud of? You're so arrogant.
A dozen or so isn't a small number, right? It's enough to beat you all.
Young man, you're living on borrowed time. This is playing with fire. Be careful, you might get burned.
Old man, you've got 1 foot in the grave. You're playing in the dirt. Be careful you don't dig your own grave.
You. Let's see who perishes first.
Li Wenchang spent so much money today. I don't believe he'll still help you in 3 days. By then, if you still can't pay up, you'll have to marry me.
Young Master Zhou, the matter of you. Having dinner with my daughter tonight.
I spent so much money today, and you expect me to still eat dinner? I need to go back to the company.
Dongqing, weren't you too impulsive today? You spent so much money of Chairman Li.
Not much. This money was very well spent. Usually, I'd spend 10 times this amount and still wouldn't be able to acquire so much land.
Chairman Li, you don't have to comfort us. In 3 days, they'll...
No, this isn't comfort. Young friend Ye's strategic move was brilliant, and it completely stunned them. They didn't even know how to bid anymore. Besides, they don't have that much liquid capital. Bidding on every piece of land, most importantly, the locations of these lands, are quite significant.
It truly takes Chairman Li to see right through it.
What's so special about them? Why didn't I notice? Don't keep me in suspense. Just tell me.
These properties, they surround and block most of their land and the city center. In other words, if they want their land to appreciate in value, they still need our approval.
Didn't they realize that?
They bid too aggressively at first, and eventually ran out of funds. Even if they did realize it, there was nothing they could do to stop it. What's more, the plots I bought are mostly key locations for future high-speed rail and subway lines. Their future market value is inestimable.
Indeed. Young Mr. Yi is not only a literary genius, but also a business prodigy. Would you be interested in making a fortune together in the future?
Uncle Lee, I'm not interested in money. I'm only interested in bringing down the Zhou family and supporting the education of the great Xia.
Then how do you plan to do it exactly?
First, I'll short stocks. I'll short the stocks of the Zhou family and the K family.
You trade stocks too? Why have I never heard about it?
I just study it in my spare time. I'll make 100 million first.
100 million?
100 billion. Even the wealthiest person in Great Shai couldn't come up with that much money now.
No. All my assets and market value combined are only around 5 billion. 100 billion. How much time do you need?
I only need 3 days. I've researched all the stocks from this exact time in my past life, and this time, I must make a huge profit.
Dongqing, I think I need to remind you of something. This isn't you writing a novel, nor is it some magical realism. Even if I gave you all my assets, 100 billion in 3 days, that would require a 200% return to be possible. No, that's a fantasy, let alone that.
I only need 1 million. I'm going to enter the market with a 100 times leverage, and that 1 million will be the royalty from my novel, The Three-Body Problem, Book 3.
Dongqing, I seriously doubt now that you've distinguished between reality and dreams. 100 times leverage. If it drops by even 1 point, that 1 million of yours will be gone. I've been in business for decades, and I've never seen anyone trade stocks like you.
Exactly. There's no need to rush this. If you lose everything this time, your royalties will all be gone.
Now is a good time. I'm sure I can win. I'll need Uncle Lee's help.
All right. I'll indulge you one more time. But if your 10 million is gone, I will immediately choose to close out.
Okay.
Young Master Zhou, come take a break.
When I'm working, you'd better behave yourself.
Young Master Zhou, you've never been this busy before. What's been going on these past few days?
These past few days, a stock market wizard appeared out of nowhere, stirring up the US stock market and the domestic stock market, causing a huge commotion. And precisely at this time, my assets are tied up in real estate.
It's all that pest Ye Dongqing's fault. Recklessly raising prices, making our young Master Zhou pay several times more just to buy the land.
Now that you mention it, it reminds me of something. The 3-day period is up. The development plan for the next 30 years in Southern Province should be announced.
So, shall we...
Go to the Lin family and demand an explanation. I refuse to believe that the appreciation of our combined 20-plus plots of land can't surpass a few randomly chosen by that pest. Why are you here?
Mr. Zhou, isn't it the appointed time? I was just thinking of going with you to demand an explanation.
Perfect. I have a foolproof plan that can help you bounce back quickly.
What plan?
I heard that Ye Dongqing has been staying with Li Wenchang these past few days. Find an opportunity and poison them.
What?
The stock market has been volatile lately. If we had a substantial fund, I could multiply your assets by tens of times. Even if we lose the bet, with both of them gone, that bet becomes unprovable. At that point, we'll be the ones calling the shots, won't we?
You know about the situation with our Shen family these days. We've been hit by an unknown attack, and our stocks have plummeted. What if we lose our bet? Those 300 million could be the end of our Shen family. My dear, success or failure all hinges on this one move.
Even if we win, I don't want to see those pests anymore. Once this is done, I will take good care of you. Mali University, all the wealth and glory, it will all be yours.
But they don't trust me. I don't have an opportunity.
It's all right. I'll help you. When it comes to dealing with men, I know exactly what to do.
Dongqing, how have you been lately? Why don't you take a couple of days off, and then go collect your money?
Things have been a little tougher than I expected.
It's all right. Losing over 10 million is nothing to worry about. At your age, experiencing something like this isn't necessarily a bad thing.
That's right. Dongqing, don't put too much pressure on yourself.
How did you get in? Get out.
Dongqing, I'm sorry. I'm here to apologize to you. I've thought about it seriously these past few days, and it was me before who judged you unfairly. It's all my fault.
Go on. What do you want? Say it.
I think I've fallen for you. Fallen for your talent. Fallen for your integrity and purity.
Did Zhou Tianze send you?
No.
Although I don't know you well, I know you're not interested in me, and you wouldn't try to charm me. Since that's the case, then there's only one possibility, which is that someone sent you here and told you to do these things. Still won't tell the truth?
I just had an awakening. No one sent me.
Then what is this?
You were the one who first didn't treat me like one of your own. You didn't even tell me you published a book. And you swindled $1 billion from my family. Now you've also offended the Zhou family. Such a formidable power. There's only one path to ruin. One should not associate with those beneath them, nor should they walk with those who are inferior. What did I do wrong?
Since you said the Zhou family is a formidable power, then I'll show you what a true formidable power looks like.
1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 9 zeros. A holding amount of $16 billion. This is impossible.
Oh my goodness. You really did it. Oh my heavens. You're not just a stock market wizard. You're a stock market deity. Looking across the entire world, only you could have made so much money in 3 days.
What? He made it in 3 days?
Now you know who the true formidable power is, don't you? With this capital, I can make the Qi family and the Zhou family go bankrupt. I originally planned to spare your family, but I never thought you would poison us just now, so don't blame me.
No, I just got carried away for a moment. Please, I beg you to spare my family.
When you poisoned me just now, did you ever think about sparing me?
I can give you some leads. The criminal leads of the Zhou and K families. My family has them all. That's why we were so close.
I see. No wonder you always took Keishin's side. So your prominent families have been colluding for a long time. No wonder, in your previous life you married Keishin, and you knew about Keshin taking my top scholar title, yet you pretended not to know? It's truly sickening.
I genuinely didn't know about that. But I can give you another lead. Zhou Tianze, they went to find Lin Ying.
Why didn't you say so earlier?
You wouldn't really believe that kid, would you? Believe that real estate will go up? Believe he can make 10 billion?
As long as he says it, I will believe it.
Are you out of your mind? You need to think about it. He's just a newly graduated broke high school student. Can he ever defeat a commercial titan like young Master Zhou, who has immense wealth?
That's right. No one can defeat young Master Zhou. That's right. No one has ever beaten young Master Zhou.
You, why are you here again?
That good-for-nothing still hasn't paid back the 300 million, so of course I've come to claim my bride.
The time is not up yet. The bet is still on. What right do you have to demand payment?
The renowned top talent of Nansheng province is actually foolish enough to believe in that penniless nobody, that kid with no experience in land speculation, could beat the formidable young Master Zhou.
Come. Look what this is. It was just published today. Several of our plots of land have been designated as key development areas, and their market value has skyrocketed.
Impossible? If you really won, why didn't you go find Dongqing, but instead came looking for me?
That's because they can't come anymore. I can go collect from them anytime I want, whenever I please.
What? What did you do to him?
Oh, nothing much. Just sent someone to add a little something extra.
You're truly willing to do anything to win? I'm gonna tell Dongqing. Get out of my way.
I can harm them once, and I can harm them again. Unless you agree to marry me, I will spare their lives.
Dream on.
Whether you want to marry me today or not, you will. That vermin Dongqing. He's a dead man. I will even hold our wedding. At his funeral.
Let go of me. I'm gonna find Dongqing.
You!
Still want to save that bug? What's so bad about being my plaything?
Even if that good-for-nothing didn't die, do you think after losing 900 million and causing Li Wenchang to lose so much money in land speculation, would Li Wenchang still give him a second look?
What a great opportunity. You just don't know how to appreciate it. Look at my daughter. To be young Master Zhou's mistress, I'm already completely satisfied. And you could even be his official wife. Why not?
Official wife? I'm not interested. Selling your daughter for status and acting so self-righteous, it's really laughable.
You!
Furthermore, even if it means my demise today, I will marry Dongqing, not a degenerate as wicked as you.
Fine. Then I will disgrace you publicly right now, and see if you still dare to marry someone. Hold her down.
Everybody stop. Everybody stop it.
Dongqing. Dongqing, are you alright?
Zhou Tianzi, you've done too many evil deeds. Today will be your end.
You're actually alive?
So what if I'm alive? With just you, a defeated opponent. How dare you speak so arrogantly to me?
A defeated opponent? Why don't you check again carefully?
Help me check. What? The land Dongqing bought, its total market value has increased by over 100-fold.
How is that possible? The land we chose, its market value only increased by a few times. Over 100-fold?
Doesn't that mean the land in his hands is worth hundreds of billions?
We really won.
A complete victory.
That's impossible. You're just a pauper who can't even afford a single house. How could you know anything about speculating in land?
A bet is a bet. Pay up.
You just got lucky. What's there for you to be so arrogant about? My Zhou family is powerful and influential. I can still crush you.
Powerful and influential? You should check again carefully.
I am the young master of international enterprises. The Zhou family's influence spreads across the globe. Even Li Wenchang, in my eyes, is nothing more than a slightly bigger ant. What else do I need to confirm?
So you just won a few 100 million, is that it? Why are you gloating? Do you really think you can compete with young Master Zhou?
If you know what's good for you, you'd better withdraw the bet and marry Lin Ying to young Master Zhou. Perhaps if young Master Zhou is pleased, he might let you live.
You are truly beyond foolish. You are all facing your doom. Yet you three are still here making empty boasts. Your Zhou family, the Shen family, and the K family have all fallen. Why don't you kneel and confess your crimes?
You little pest. Do you think you are writing a novel? Talking about our three families falling, not to mention the K and Shen families, who are giants in the southern province. Just our Zhou family alone, in the entire Great Xia, and even the global business community, has a significant standing. What kind of nobody are you, to dare say you can bring us down?
What? The International Stock Wizard has acquired all of the Zhou family's shares.
This? How can this be?
This? What? You said the Shen family shares were shorted?
What? My Qi family's shares were shorted, and all our properties were sealed.
You did all of this?
Clever, aren't I?
Impossible. This is impossible. Even Li Wenchang couldn't achieve this. Only one person could accomplish this. The international stock market guru.
Yes. You're just a young punk. You must have received some inside information, and now you're putting on a show.
Dad, he is the international stock market guru.
No, it can't be. This is absolutely impossible. My son has been observing him for years. He's just a bookworm who only knows how to study. I've never heard that he trades stocks.
It's the absolute truth. I've checked multiple times. There are stock trading records. He is the stock market guru.
The Zhou family. is ruined.
My young friend, I know you like our Meng Ji.
Dad!
Isn't that right? I can have her, marry you, even as a mistress, if necessary. I only beg you to spare our Shen family, please?
Never. In my heart, there is only one person. And in my heart, there is only one goal: to empower thousands of students. I will use this money to create a business empire to help these students find employment and choose their majors, to help these students move towards a brighter future, towards a path to success.
I wasn't wrong.
Will you join me in fulfilling this dream?
I will